Welcome to today's practice on this very hot summer's day. So today's class is going to be quite gentle. Come to lifting and rolling your shoulders back, pressing the feet into the ground. Lift your toes and then very gently press your toes back into the ground. Hi Patsy, I'll start again. I'd only just started.
Morning.
Oh God, is it me or is it just very hot?
So hot.
Hot.
It's too hot for me.
Yes. So I'll dong the dog.
Am I the only one?
I think so. Yes.
Oh. Yeah, no, it's boiling and it gets really hot in my flat upstairs.
Yeah.
Which is a bit annoying. How are you? How was Saturday?
Saturday was lovely. We did walk the hour and a quarter to the pub and back, and the walk there nearly killed me. I'm so hot and so full of hay fever as I am today. I thought I can't bear this. But coming back, it was cooler and I was much better.
Oh, that's weird.
Which is
Oh,
weird.
I suppose it was later in the day. Was it not covered? Was it not under trees, your walk? Do you know?
Partly not. There are bits of shade and partly shade and whatever. So just like, but yes, how was your weekend?
I can't remember. Mark came over last night. I don't know. I saw Celia on Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was good. I honestly can't remember, Christine.
Right.
I've just been looking. I was just starting to work to get ready for Wednesday.
Oh my goodness, back to normal.
Yeah.
Back to normal.
Yesterday was so hot.
Yes.
It was just, for me, it was just too hot.
Ditto. Right, we'll start again. It's going to be incredibly gentle, so don't worry.
Yeah. I don't know why, but my back's hurting.
Whereabouts on your back?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll do quite a lot on that. So, okay, we'll do that.
I don't know what particularly, but it is. I don't think I've done it. Right, I'll put it on silent.
Okay, well we'll just do a very gentle.
Because the budgies are downstairs and
They're making a lovely budgie noise.
Oh, by the way, Heather and Edward have offered to have them if we want to go somewhere again.
How lovely. Yeah, you mentioned that.
I think she's quite keen to have them.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Great. That's nice.
I'll mute it, okay?
Okay, my iPad keeps moving and I can't kind of adjust it properly. Right,
I can see you perfectly.
Brilliant, okay, so let's start. Come to standing on this very hot summer's day and gently lift and roll your shoulders back. And very slowly turn your head to the left. Very slowly bring your head back to the centre. And very slowly turn your head to the right. And come back to the centre. Step with your feet hip width apart as we gently turn from side to side, lifting your heels. Just let the air flow through your fingers, around your body. the air connects to the sense of touch, and the sense of touch links to the element of air, and air connects to the heart. So just again, gently go from side to side. And then come to the centre, place your hands on your waist and just lift your heels. And then place your heels back down again. Just step your left foot forward and out a little bit, your right foot a little bit behind, as if it's a very gentle warrior one. Lift the back heel, you can turn your back foot in, and just slightly keep the back heel lifted, bend, dropping your weight, and bend, dropping your weight. So I've been learning quite a lot about balance and how balance can unravel as we get older. And this very gentle movement where you're going very slowly, dropping the weight centrally and keeping the back heel off, really bend your knees, is a way to very slowly strengthen the muscles of the leg. And then just come upright, step your left foot back, lift and roll your shoulders and step your right foot forward. Your left foot is back. Adjust your feet so that you can face forward if you need to, and lift your back left heel. And it's the same thing, bending both knees, dropping your central body weight and coming up. This is a very gentle movement. What would make common sense is that when you move quickly, your mind gets in the way of the intuitive feeling, and the mind just gets you to a position. It doesn't explore all the little nuances of muscles in between hand, or in between the movement, from one movement to another, and then just release and lower and step back. And then just one more time, as you turn your head to the left very slowly, feel like a breeze is gently pushing the head. You can come back, just a subtle movement to go to the left. And when you feel your way, you are moving different muscles than you might do if you turned your head in one go. And so your turn capability or range becomes greater. Feel that you can move your hips as well, and then come back to the centre gradually, and then go to the other side. So when we turn our heads in one big turn, we're using one main muscle to turn, and that mind is very much in control. And it means that the cervical vertebrae aren't aligned properly, which can lead to neck and shoulder issues. If we turn the head very gradually, we get out of the way of that, and the intuition kicks in, and then come back to the centre and see if you notice any difference between the two movements. So going gently is perceived that the cervical vertebrae align properly, whereas one big movement can misalign the cervical vertebra. It is hot. We're going to come down to the mat in a lying position and do our stretches on the mat. So come to a lying, almost Shavasana. And just take a moment to settle yourself. Just circle your ankles a few times in one direction. And then circle the ankles a few times in the other direction. And then just come to the centre And breathing in, bending your right elbow, stretch your right arm up above your head. The elbow can remain bent or stretched out. Extend your right heel. And keeping your arm where it is, the back of the hand on the ground and the right heel extended, gently turn your head to the left. And stay here as you take a breath in and out. And when you're ready, roll your head back to the centre. And breathing out, lower your right arm and relax your right foot. And then breathing in, extend your left heel and bend your left arm as you raise your left arm up above you. You can keep the left elbow bent or straighten the arm out, resting the back of the hand or the fingers on the floor. And breathing out when you're ready, turn your head very gently to the right. Take an in and an out breath here. And when you're ready, bring your head back to the centre. And breathing out, lower your left arm back down alongside you. Gently turn your head to the left. Come back to the centre and gently turn your head to the right. Here your head is supported by the ground, so it's less of an effort for the head and the neck. Come back to the centre. And bend both knees, feet are hip width apart. Just palms down, easing out the lower back. Just do a few pelvic tilts. So that is flattening the lower back to the ground as if you're going to lift your bottom, but you don't. And then releasing so that you go the other way. And there's a little gap under your lower back. So flattening and then releasing. And flattening and then releasing. And then just come to a neutral black and place your fingers on your abdomen, opening your elbows out to the side. And do nothing more than just to notice as you breathe in, the abdomen rises slightly. And as you breathe out, the abdomen moves away from you. And now as you breathe in, at the end of the exhalation, count 1. Breathing in again, and at the end of the next exhalation, before you stop breathing, count 2. And carry on counting until you get to 10, or you're heading towards 10. If you forget, the wisdom is to start again, and it really doesn't matter how far you get. The benefits to slowing the breath down are huge. Connecting to your nervous system, it connects to your blood pressure, it connects to your immune response factor. It connects to your organ functioning, because if you slow down, the exchange in and out is greater of air, toxins, CO2 out. But also you're beginning to relax your muscles, particularly as they're being held by the ground. And relaxing your muscles loosens any kind of tenseness that might restrict organ functioning. So it really is such a wonderful practice to do. And there are many, many variations on this type of breath work, which crosses over into mindfulness. Come to finish your breath, counting your breath wherever you've got to. And just very gently have your feet wider than hip width apart. Your hands can still remain on the abdomen, or they can be facing palms down on the floor. And start to just sway both knees in one direction and then in the other direction. And your hips will lift off the ground. So how far you come down is entirely up to you. And you'll notice that you're beginning to massage across the lower back area. So the more you roll to one side and lift one hip off the ground, the more that you'll massage across the top of the opposite bottom, the buttock area. And again, here you can afford to go very slowly. And as you move, pay attention to what activates your movement. Is it your feet pressing down into the earth? Is it your knees that initiate the movement? Or is it the turning from side to side, higher up, almost at the hip level? There's no right or wrong, it's just an observation. And as you go from side to side, you can optionally turn your head. And here we've got a choice, either to turn the head in the direction of the knees or away from the direction of the knees. So again, it's your choice. You're beginning to involve the head, the neck, the shoulder muscles, and again it's optional. The knees are still swaying from side to side. And then if this doesn't mess with your mind too much, your arms can be at an A alongside you. Or if you want a greater effect, your arms can be higher, almost at a T level. And as the knees sway to one direction and your head goes or turns as well, you've got the option of turning the palms upwards, supported by the floor. And as you come back and go to the other direction, the palms can turn down. It really doesn't matter which way round you do anything. It doesn't matter which direction the head turns in. You're simply moving all the way along the spine, from the base of the spine with a very slight rotation. And that rotation, moving and undulating the spine, carries all the way through to the neck, the head, and you're moving your arms as well. So this very gentle undulating movement is the opposite of rigidity. It invites all the bones and the joints to move fluidly. And then just very gently come back to the centre with your knees. You can bring your feet in more to hip width apart, but just feel that you can adjust them to be comfortable at any time. Bring your arms in, and then again we're focusing on the lower back as you hug your left knee into the chest. Just circle the left knee a few times in one direction. And notice moving the leg in the hip socket. And then circle the left knee a few times in the other direction. And then hugging the left knee into the chest. Hold the left leg underneath the left thigh, clasping your hands maybe, as you raise the left foot upwards to the ceiling and extend the left foot, feeling the stretch along the back of the left leg, and point the left toes, feeling the stretch along perhaps the top of your foot. And again repeat that a few times, extending the left heel and pointing the left toes, or left big toe. And then hugging the left knee into the chest and opening the left knee to the left by resting your left ankle on top of your right leg, the right top of the thigh. And hands again can be either resting on the abdomen or palms down, your choice. As you once more rock from side to side, so your hip can lift, your hips can lift, your knees sway in the same direction. And this again massages across, slightly lower down in the back, but it's still on the lower back, upper sacral area. And how much you rock your knees from side to side is again up to you. And then very gently bring your knees to the centre and cross your left leg fully over your right. And then very gently drop both knees to the left. Your right hip really lifts off the ground. You can always have a bolster underneath your left knee, and your knees don't have to drop right down. You can rest your left hand on your abdomen, and your right hand can be bent upwards, almost to the diagonal edge of the mat. If that is too strong under the right arm, then just lower the right arm and place the right hand on the right waist. And you can either look up or just gently let your head turn slightly to the right, looking either upwards or keeping your eyes closed. Bring your tummy in slightly and engage your perineum slightly to support your core as you lift both knees up. Hands either resting on the abdomen or palms down, and just counterpose that twist by letting both knees drop over slightly to the right side. Lifting your left hip off the ground. Tummy in as you bring both knees to the centre and uncross your left knee. And once more, just sway both knees, both feet are on the ground, hip width apart. Sway both knees a little bit from side to side. Massaging across the lower back again, at the top of the sacral area, that bottom area. And then just very gently keep your left leg where it is, but again, always feel free to adjust your foot at any point, and then hug your right knee into the chest. Just enjoy the hugging of the knee into the chest. And then very gently, still holding the knee, circle the knee in one direction. And then very gently circle the knee in the other direction. Moving the bone, the top of the leg, thigh bone in the hip socket. And then hugging the knee into the chest, Dropping the hands down, clasping underneath the right thigh. Extend the right leg to the ceiling and extend your right heel and feel the stretch along the back of the right leg. Pointing the toes, the right toes, and then extending the right heel and pointing the toes. Extending the heel and point the toes. And then very gently hug the right knee into the chest. And opening the right knee to the side, place the right ankle on top of the left leg. Hands either palms down or resting on the abdomen as you gently sway both knees from side to side. How much you sway is entirely up to you. Your hips will lift from the ground, massaging across the lower back side of one side and then the other. And depending on how much you roll to the side, your knees, your bottom foot will roll inwards and then it will roll outwards to support this swaying movement. You'll massage across your lower back quite a lot. So how much you massage, again, is up to you. Your head can join in the movement or stay static. And then bringing your knees back to the centre, cross your right leg over your left, and let both knees drop to the right, lifting your left hip off the ground. And optionally, you can raise your left arm, bent still at the elbow, up above you, so that your left arm has a diagonal stretch to the edge of the mat. You can open your eyes looking upwards or just keep them closed. And then very gently bring your tummy, the abdominal muscles slightly in. Your perineum engages slightly to bring your core in, supporting your back and legs. As you roll your legs up to the centre, your hand can be extended up above you or lower it, again your choice. And let both knees drift slightly over to the right. Again, you can always have a cushion underneath to support the knees and the thighs, lifting your right thigh off the ground. And turning your head maybe to look up or slightly to the left, to the right, sorry. And then very gently bring your head back to the centre. Roll your knees up to the centre. And then stretch your legs out along the mat again. Keep your right leg where it is, the right heel slightly extended. Bend your left knee. So we're coming into half tree, lying, supine tree pose. Again, if you've got a support or a cushion, you can support your left thigh underneath so that you're not opening up so much. So you can feel that a supine tree really allows you to open in this case, the left leg, more fully than perhaps you might do if you're doing tree. And opening the inner groin on the left side is accessing part of the lymphatic system. So it's giving space to the lower lymph system and therefore looking to boost your immunity. Place your left hand under your left thigh to support your left thigh as you lift your left knee up and lower your left leg along the ground. Just sway both feet from side to side in like a pendulum movement. And then keeping the left foot where it is, ideally You would extend the left heel as you would do in full standing tree or Riksasana. And bend your right, but here we're back relaxed, you don't have to extend it so much. Bend your right knee up, aiming the right sole of the foot towards the inside of the right leg. And again, you might feel you'd like support in the form of a block or a cushion underneath your right thigh. Your hands here can rest on your abdomen, or they can rest palms down or up actually, as you open the right groin, inner groin. So for lower back issues, there are so many reasons why you can feel stiff. Holding a position too long, driving too long, stress, movement, an asymmetrical movement, the list goes on. But just working gently around the hip can go quite a long way to just opening up and relieving lower back pressure. And then very gently take your right hand underneath your right thigh to support your right thigh, bringing your right knee up. And now bend your left knee. Just sway both knees a little bit from side to side. And just place your hands once more for a few breaths on your abdomen. Your elbows are out to the side. And just notice the abdomen slightly expanding on the inhalation, and it falls slightly away as you breathe out. Calming the system down, allowing the body to relax. And then keeping your right foot where it is, just hug your left foot, left knee in towards your chest. And just stay here holding the left knee. It's a static pose. It's working on something called the Apana energy. Within the 5 energies of the body, the Apana energy is the foundational energy residing around the lower abdominal area and moving down into the legs. So if you've got any pain whatsoever, it means that your Vata dosha, the combination of elements represented in your body according to the Ayurveda system, are slightly out, and the Vata element is being out. The seat of Vata in Ayurveda is around the lower abdominal area. So hugging the knee, left knee into the chest, still holding the left knee, let the left knee drift away to arm's length. Hug the left knee into the chest, and still holding the left knee, let it drift away. And just repeat this movement a few times, hugging in, and then just letting it drift away. And then very gently place the left foot on the floor, holding the left leg if you need to with both hands, and transferring your attention to the right side as you pick the right knee up and hug the right knee into the chest. Again, we're going to start with a static movement. Just hugging the right knee into the chest creates space at the lower back area, and yet the space is very gently supported by the ground, by the earth. Hugging the right knee in, and very gently letting the right knee drift away from you, up to arm's length away. It doesn't have to be. Hugging the right knee in, and letting the right knee drift away. And hugging the right knee in, and again letting it drift away. And hugging the right knee in and letting it drift away. Keep the right knee hugged in and let the left knee join it. So you're hugging both knees into the chest. And feel that you can drop your hands a little bit lower than the knee. Again, only if that works for you. which will allow you to hug your knees in closer. And you might like to open your knees outwards to accommodate that hugging in. And then holding your knees wherever you feels comfortable, let both knees drift away to arm's length. Hugging both knees in. Letting both knees drift away. And letting both knees hug in. So you're just going to repeat this a few times. And just feel the very, very gentle massage along the spine, right around the lumbar vertebra, the L4 and the L5, exactly where, again, a lot of heavy-duty twisting gets done and where those heavy lumbar muscles can do a lot of turning and a lot of strain can build up. Lying like this is particularly good because although we're on our backs, it's considered a forward bend upside down. And forward bends can be tricky if you've done your back in, particularly on a herniated disc issue, because coming too far forward can close the space at the vertebral level inside the inner edge of the vertebra. And so you can then cause further problems. But this keeps your spine supported on the ground, so it's very helpful. And then gently, however you want to, place your hands on the floor. You can hold the mat or palms down, or you can lift one bottom and then the other to just roll your bottom onto your thumbs. And however it works for you, just gently lift your feet up to the ground. If that's too much for your lower abdomen, just hold, clasping your backs of your thighs, either palms together, clasping, or just one at a time. And like the analogy would be a piece of seaweed, just gently drifting in the sea as the water laps. And your feet are just very gently swaying from side to side. This is an inversion, and an inversion is really helpful for rebalancing the hormonal system. And if you're at home, you can either have legs up the wall and stay for longer, or have your legs resting on a chair in a semi-supine position. And then if you want to just challenge yourself a little bit more at the hips, you can come by bending your knees into a happy baby pose. But again, if you're stiff one side and the other, you might like to come into a half happy baby pose. So if you place your right foot on the ground, hold underneath the sole of your left foot. Yogically, you go from the inside out, but that can be more onerous, and you can hold the outside of your foot as an option, but yogically you would hold the inside of your foot. So half happy baby, resting your right hand on the right hip and your left hand underneath your left foot. Again, you can just rock very gently from side to side. It allows you to get into happy baby, perhaps a little bit more deeply. And then bending the left knee, placing the left foot on the floor. Come to half happy baby on the right side by bending the right knee in and sliding the right hand underneath the sole of the foot. Yogic way is the fingers go on the outside of the foot, but if you want another way, hold the outside of the foot by all means. And just gently move from side to side. And then if you want to explore, this is again optional, happy goddess pose, bend the left knee in, and again if your arms will allow you, if not hold your shins, take hold of your big toes with the thumbs on top and come into a V with your legs. Your knees can be bent or they can be straight. And just rock from side to side. So again, the rocking from side to side, you could rock right the way down to your elbow, but that's quite destabilizing to get yourself up. But the gentle rock from side to side is, again, going along that lower back area. And it might be just where you need to massage. Each position subtly is a few millimeters down or up. So you might find a position that suits you better than something else. And then coming back to the center and hugging both knees into the chest once more. Just very gently rocking from side to side. And then placing one foot and the other foot onto the floor. Your knees are bent, feet are hip width apart, and resting hands on the abdomen. You can, if you like, bring your knees to touch, which means that your feet go slightly out to the end of the mat. And this time, take a moment to have your sankalpa, your thought for the day, for yourself or for anybody else, wishing them well. Just check that the back of your neck is comfortably long. It's not all crunched up, it's extended, it's feeling relaxed. And just once more, gently turn your head to the left. Come back to the center and then turn your head to the right. And come to the center. Bring your focus to the entrance to the nostrils. And as you breathe in, just notice if or which nostril is more open at the moment. One, the breath might feel easier on one side, and then release. Our dominant nostrils change throughout the day, so it could be the left nostril or the right. The two nostrils in perfect sync only happen for a very short period during the day. And notice where the air goes. Is it to the middle part of the bone part of the nostril, or is it to the outside, or is it in the center? In Japan, when they were training the Japanese warriors, one of the tests to pass was to hold a feather or something very light under the nose. And if a soldier's breath was disturbed and the feather moved, they weren't fit enough to pass their test. So the breath is meant to be smooth coming in and smooth going out. And how we breathe reflects the quality of our mind and our health. So by bringing the tip of the tongue to the back of the teeth and the palate of the tongue upwards, almost closing it, you encourage the air to go through the nose to the back of the mouth at the top on the soft bit. And that sets up a tone all the way down. It encourages nitrous oxide exchange or some kind of function connected with nitrous oxide that's missing if people breathe through their mouths. And it is a very fascinating and huge subject, how that tone carries on all the way through the body. And by breathing with our mouths open, we lose that tone. But also air passing through our noses. We've got little hairs filtering out any bugs, and it also warms the air, making it more acceptable, or bringing it to the temperature of our body so assimilation is easier. There are all kinds of little benefits to breathing through the nose with the tongue at the top as much as possible. And then just have a colour choice of today, wrapping yourself inside and out in the colour of your choice, like a candy floss, or the yogic analogy would be like an auric egg. And just know that those molecules of your coloured candy floss, your coloured air, are there protecting you for the day ahead. Only positive thoughts can come in. Negative could go out, but nothing negative can come in. So it's casting almost like an invisible cloak of protection around you and for anybody who've had your thoughts today. And then very just gently hugging your knees into your chest and taking your time to come up to a gentle seated position and come to a cross-legged position in your seated position. Hands either side of you. Just slide your fingers out to the left and bend your right elbow. Just a gentle lateral stretch, chin in, looking ahead or to the floor. You can just bounce in and out with your bent right elbow. Tummy in as you come upright, and sliding the right fingers out a little bit. Bend your left elbow and just bend in, just pulsing in and out. And then bend both knees to the side in a double V. And just turn very gently to where your knees are facing and come back. And gently turn your entire body slightly towards the direction of the knees and come back. And then hands either side of you to lift the knees and then drop your knees to the other direction. You can always have a cushion underneath you, that double V, which is excellent for hip health. And then just very gently turn your entire torso towards the direction of the knees now. And come back. And just gently turn again. You're not going to go necessarily very far. And then come back. And one more time, just turn gently. And then come back. And then come to a cross-legged position. As you place your hands either on your knees or just below, sitting up, just opening your chest and breathing out, rounding your chin comes to your chest, lengthening the back of your neck, breathing in, sitting up slightly, breathing out, rounding your back, chin to chest, breathing in, sitting up, and breathing out, rounding chin to chest. Come to gently sitting upright. No effort. Just bring your hands to your heart and bring your head forward, taking a bow for yourself. And thank you very much for joining me today.